Happy Friday afternoon, guys and girls. How's it going? It's Rick here once again for Suck Less, or Suck Less. Suck Less. That works. Okay, today we're doing section 3 of pedal boards and pedal board effects. Thanks for watching the videos. I really appreciate it. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good shit. Okay, I love how I can say shit on YouTube, or on our social media. Okay, so here's what we're dealing with today. We're dealing with section 3. Which is the stuff you want after your drives, okay? Now, if your amp has an effects loop, you can put this stuff in the effects loop because the drive section of your amp, if you're using your amp for its distortion as opposed to pedals, this stuff is probably going to sound better in your effects loop, okay? I think I've talked about effects loops earlier. Basically, it inserts these pedals between the preamp section of your amp, which is where you get your tone, and the power amp section, which is what makes it loud. So, do you remember how I said you don't want to delay before your distortion because it'll distort the delays? Well, very similar situation with your amplifier. Okay, so without an effects loop, you can just run these in front of your amp into a clean channel. However, once again, there is no right way to do this. This is just a commonly accepted way to do it, okay? And this happens to be the way I do it. So what we're working with today is a noise gate. In this case, the Fortin Zuul, which is one of my favorites. Next up is the Diamond Tremolo. Any tremolo will do. This just happens to be a really good one. And since I moved to Nova Scotia, hometown, or new hometown, home away from home, whatever. Okay, next up, delay. This is a Rubberneck from DoD. Next up is a Reverb. This is a TC Arena, which is basically the same thing as like their Hall of Fame, right? It's an arena. It's a Reverb unit. And lastly, we have a booster. Now, I know we were running boosters in front of drives earlier. However, you know what? No, I'll get to that. Let's start here. Okay, first off, so your signal's going this way again, right? So we're going from the right to the left. Now, remember your signal is a river. Right? Everything you pour in upstream affects everything downstream. So before this, we have the other sections that we did. We have your modulation and tuners and wahs. Once again, though, you can put anything anywhere, and I recommend trying it. But after your drive section, which is the one we did last week, you want your noise gate. This is going to cut down on all the excess noise that your drive makes. Also, in your effects loop, if you run this in the effects loop of your amp, it will tone your amp down a little bit. You'll have to adjust it, right? But I don't know if you can hear that, but my amp's buzzing. Okay, it was a tiny bit of buzz because I'm playing clean. I'm not using any drive. But when one of these is dialed in correctly, right? Watch the light. Right? On and off to let me through. Next, a tremolo. Now, I like to run my tremolo before my delay and my reverb. The reason for that being that it'll delay it a little bit, whereas after, the tremolo will chop these, right? Again, follow the river. Now, the tremolo, like the wah pedal, is the most fun pedal to move around your effects line. Like, try it ahead of your drives. Try it after your drives. Move it over to your modulation section. This and the wah are the most fun. Now, this is just a way to get standard tones, right? So, a trem. Okay. So that's what a trem does. This one's got a bunch of other features. We're not going to get into that. Next would be your delay. Now, the reason I generally put my trem before my delay... Here, let's kick the delay on. Hear the buzz? Gone. There we go. All right, so I find that it cascades better because the delay is going to delay. It's basically a delay is sort of a little mini recorder, like sort of a mini looper that fades off. If you put this after your delay, it's going to chop up the delays. Whereas this will delay the trem. It's the same thing. It's a river, right? Next up is a reverb. Now, let's say I kick all three of these on, right? What's it going to sound like? Now, I like how that sounds personally. I find that's a lot of fun to mess with. Let's try. So, generally, the commonly accepted way to do this is trem into delay into reverb. However, please feel free to mix these up. It's quite a bit of fun. Now, what the hell is this guy doing here? Why would I run a boost late? Well, this is a booster line driver. What this does is give me up to 20 decibels of clean boost. That means that there's no drive associated with it. It's just volume. Okay, it's just a volume increase. Now, the reason I want that is say I want to punch through, say I want to play a solo and I want to have a little more kick. But if you run this in front of your amp, it's going to push your tubes. If you run it in the effects loop, it's going to push you're still going to sound the same. It's just going to bring you up, right? So here, hold on a second. Let me. Right? So, these are an excellent way to get a little bit of pump when you need it. There's no need to go overboard with them, but if you do ever find yourself not cutting through, like say you kick on a drive pedal, you kick on another drive pedal, and it's just not quite getting there, putting a boost, a clean boost in your effects loop is a great way to solve that. And it doesn't have to be ahead of the gate. It can be after the gate because it's just a clean boost. The gate is still going to snip off all the buzzy grossness, right? And you'll be here. So, again, noise gate after your drives, possibly in your effects loop. I know some guys run 2 gates. That's 4. 2 gates. Some guys run 2 gates. One in front of their amp and one in the effects loop. Some amps even come with a gate built into the effects loop, like my Angle. Next up. Trem, then a delay, then a reverb, then a booster. Okay? So, that's pretty much pedal boards in a nutshell and signal chain in a nutshell. Now, I'm going to do a bass video next week. We're going to go over just some technique things and a little bit of pedal stuff as well. We might be doing some drum videos shortly. Thank you very much for watching Suck Less, guys. I really appreciate it. Thumbs. Thanks again. Like, comment, subscribe. Tell me I suck. Tell me I don't suck. I don't really care. It's the internet. Everybody's awful on the internet. Everybody's awful. Okay. Thanks, guys. See ya.